Susan, I'm gay.
The 1990s were crazy times for American television. TV was caught between the safe, family-friendly world of ABC, CBS, and NBC, and the Wild West that cable would soon become. Networks were scared of getting fined by the FCC, losing advertisers, and dealing with angry parent groups. But everyone was fighting hard for ratings, which pushed writers and show creators to see just how far they could push things without getting canceled. Number 10. NYPD Blue shows a naked butt on network TV. Steven Bochco's cop drama hit ABC in 1993, promising viewers gritty police work you'd never see on Murder, She Wrote. But in season 4, an episode called Nude Awakening shocked America by showing actress Charlotte Ross's bare backside in the shower. The camera lingered like it was some sort of art house film. The backlash was brutal. Over 50 ABC stations refused to even air the episode. The FCC slammed ABC with a record $1.4 million fine. Their reasoning was that bare butts counted as sexual organs, crossing the line for broadcast TV. Parents groups went crazy, and ABC executives probably wondered if they'd made a huge mistake. But ABC's gamble actually worked. The controversy was all over the news. Ratings went through the roof, and other dramas started asking their censors how dark the lighting needed to be before showing someone's rear end became art instead of porn. This episode proves something important about 90s TV. When your audience was getting smaller and cable was stealing viewers, making people angry could actually be great for business. Number 9. Seinfeld makes masturbation jokes without saying masturbation. The contest episode from 1992 happened because Larry David was bragging to the other writers about a real bet he'd made with friends to see who could go the longest without pleasuring themselves.
What?
Yeah, I'm out of the contest.
You're out?
Yeah.
When NBC's censors heard this idea, they lost their minds. You could not say masturbation at 9 p.m. on network television. This was primetime family hour, and NBC wasn't about to let some comedian turn their network into late-night cable. David's solution was brilliant. He wrote a 23-minute episode entirely about not saying the forbidden word. Characters talked about being master of my own domain or queen of the castle instead. The whole joke was avoiding saying what everyone knew they were talking about, which somehow made it funnier than if they just said it outright. Viewers ate it up, critics loved it, and it won awards, while conservative groups were furious that clever wordplay was still teaching kids what these phrases meant. The contest proved you could turn censorship into comedy gold. The episode aired without cuts, won a Writers Guild Award, and showed NBC that what you don't say can make you just as much money as what you do say. Number 8. South Park puts a talking turd in a Christmas special. When Comedy Central aired Mr. Hanky the Christmas Poo on December 17, 1997, parents across America went ballistic. The episode had a talking piece of poop, wearing a Santa hat, spreading holiday cheer and actual feces around South Park. The character also made fun of religious fighting over Christmas displays in public schools. A talking pile of crap might not seem shocking today when you've got shows like Rick and Morty, but in 1997, it was outrageous.
Fighting! Oh my God, what the hell is that thing?
Come on, gang, don't fight.
Angry parents flooded the network with complaints. Religious groups called for boycotts, and some cable companies even considered dropping Comedy Central entirely. But the episode pulled in 4.5 million viewers and launched South Park into the mainstream. Things got stranger when animator John Kay claimed that creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone had ripped off his character Nutty the Friendly Dump. Comedy Central didn't apologize. Instead, they started selling plush Mr. Hanky dolls and figured out their winning formula. If you can't show bathroom humor directly on TV, turn it into a cute character and sell toys. Number 7. Beavis and Butthead gets blamed for a kid burning down his house. Mike Judge's MTV cartoon about two lazy metalheads seemed harmless until October 6, 1993, when real tragedy hit. A 5-year-old in Moraine, Ohio set fire to his house, killing his 2-year-old sister. The boy's mother blamed Beavis and his constant fire catchphrase for giving her son the deadly idea. She went on every news show that would have her, saying the cartoon had programmed her child to become an arsonist. MTV completely panicked and went into damage control mode. They scrubbed all fire references from reruns, stuck "Don't try this at home" warnings on every episode, and moved the show from its 7 p.m. time slot to after 10 p.m.
This is gonna be cool. We're pretty funny, huh, Beavis?
Media experts said blaming a cartoon for the tragedy was a stretch, but the damage was done. Beavis and Butthead became the poster child for TV corrupting America's youth. But here's the weird part. The show also became heroes to the exact teenagers the late time slot was supposed to protect. Kids started staying up late just to watch it, and the controversy made it cooler than ever. Ratings actually went up after all the negative publicity. Number 6, Married with Children makes an episode too dirty even for Fox. The blue-collared Bundy family had been pushing boundaries for years, but Season 3's I'll See You in Court went too far, even for Fox. The plot had Al and Peg Bundy finding out they'd been secretly filmed during a passionate hotel hookup, then suing the motel. The script was packed with jokes about recorded sex, fake orgasms, and the Bundys' terrible attempts at romance. This was too much for Fox, the network that built its reputation on being edgier than the big three networks.
And as for the Bundys, no sex, no money.
Executives were terrified advertisers would bail, so they buried the episode. It didn't air until FX showed it uncut in 2002, over 10 years later. By then, viewers either laughed nostalgically at how tame it seemed, or wondered what the big deal was. The long delay showed how fast TV standards were changing during the 90s. What scared network executives in 1990 looked pretty tame once cable took over. Number 5, Ellen comes out and changes American TV forever. On April 30th, 1997, Ellen Morgan, played by Ellen DeGeneres, accidentally said "I'm gay" into an airport microphone, making television history.
Susan, I'm gay.
The puppy episode got 42 million viewers, won a Peabody and an Emmy, and became one of the most watched episodes of TV in the 90s. But it also brought serious consequences. The episode triggered bomb threats to ABC offices, boycotts from religious groups, and major advertisers like Chrysler and JCPenney immediately pulled their commercials. ABC started putting content warnings before every episode after Ellen came out. Conservative commentator Jerry Falwell famously called her Ellen degenerate, and protesters showed up at ABC affiliates demanding the show be canceled. Ratings dropped steadily, and the show got canceled after just one more season, but the cultural impact was huge. Within a few years, Will and Grace was on the air, becoming a massive hit. GLAAD's awards show got bigger, and gay relationships on TV became normal instead of shocking. Ellen paid a heavy price for being first, but she opened the door for everyone who came after her. Number 4, Jerry Springer turns daytime TV into a fight club. At its peak in the late 90s, the Jerry Springer Show had about 6 violent fights per episode, consistently beating Oprah in the ratings while terrifying local stations, advertisers, and even Chicago politicians who wanted to arrest the guests. The show became a cultural phenomenon that people either loved or hated. By April 1998, the public backlash was getting intense from parents groups, politicians, and TV critics who said the show was destroying American society. Under pressure from angry civic groups and concerned parents, producers reluctantly promised to edit out the fistfights and chair-throwing incidents from future broadcasts. But here's the crazy part. Promising to censor the fights only made people more curious about what they were missing. Other countries started banning the show completely, with Britain keeping it off the air during school breaks. Jerry Springer's chaotic circus became the foundational blueprint for reality TV's car crash formula that still dominates television today. Number 3. The Simpsons mocks censorship by censoring itself. Years before South Park was battling censors, The Simpsons was already fighting over cartoon violence. In the brilliant 1990 episode Itchy and Scratchy and Marge, Baby Maggie hits Homer with a hammer after watching the ultra-violent cat and mouse cartoon that was basically Tom and Jerry on steroids. This makes Marge start a campaign to tone down cartoon violence, which directly mirrored real campaigns against The Simpsons itself happening at the same time. Fox executives were genuinely worried that major advertisers might run away if parent groups thought the show was promoting real violence. Instead, the clever episode got widespread praise for making fun of censorship itself, and ratings jumped to new heights. The genius move was making the show completely aware of its own controversy. By showing its potential cancellation right there in the episode, The Simpsons effectively protected itself from outside criticism while still showing cartoon characters getting their heads chopped off in creative ways. Number 2. Power Rangers gets banned around the world for being too violent. The colorful spandex superhero show hit Fox Kids in 1993 and became huge with kids. But within 1 year, Canadian regulators were counting 25 to 35 distinct violent acts per 22-minute episode and pulled the show from several channels. New Zealand quickly banned it too after reports of kindergarten kids copying the Rangers' high kicks and fighting moves on school playgrounds. Multiple Scandinavian countries quietly dropped the series after similar concerns about childhood violence. Fox's response was brilliant from a business perspective. Flood cable channels with a show where there were fewer restrictions, sell tons of action figure toys, and produce direct-to-video movies.
And all her menacing monsters!
From destroying our planet Earth and ruling the universe with evil!
Look out, Rita! We're not backing down because we're the Power Rangers!
American parents might constantly complain about the violence, but the massive merchandising tsunami completely overwhelmed any organized protests. By the end of the decade, an entire generation was karate chopping each other on playgrounds, and advertisers learned that controversy plus action figures equals massive profits. Number 1. Friends shows TV's first lesbian wedding, and barely anyone complains. When Carol and Susan got married in the one with the lesbian wedding in January 1996, Friends kept it incredibly tame. You barely saw the couple kiss or show any real affection, which was probably smart given how controversial this could have been. Despite playing it extremely safe, 2 NBC stations in Ohio and Texas still refused to air it completely, deciding that even a modest same-sex wedding ceremony was too much for their viewers.
Go ahead, get married. Go.
Strangers in the night,
NBC executives prepared themselves for thousands of angry phone calls from outraged viewers across the country, probably having nightmares about another Ellen situation. They got exactly 4 total complaints. That's it. 4 people in the entire country bothered to call and complain about seeing a lesbian wedding on primetime TV. The episode pulled 31.6 million viewers and won a prestigious GLAAD award for positive representation. The surprisingly weak backlash proved that America was changing much faster than anyone expected, including the network executives who were terrified of losing advertisers. But the minor controversy also showed exactly how much power local TV stations still had to decide what their communities could watch, which seems crazy now in the streaming age when you can watch anything you want anytime. These 10 moments changed American television forever, proving that controversy could equal cash and setting up today's streaming world where nothing gets censored and everything goes. Back then, pushing boundaries was seriously risky business that could get you canceled.